Drop in the comments where you're coming in from, and welcome to No Guts, No Story. Every Saturday morning, same place, same time. I have been doing this podcast or live stream or conference call back in the day. Eagle teleconference call was my Saturday morning jam. And I can remember even 15 years ago, in 2006, actually, 20 years ago, sitting on the porch at the Lake Wilson Lake House, dialing in to No Guts, No Story and a Saturday morning training call. So this is how I always spend my Saturday mornings. And I'm so excited to be here with you. And today I want to talk to you about freedom. I want you to grab a notebook. We're going to get right to work because here's the deal. Everyone's celebrating 4th of July and they've got this amazing weekend. It's all about freedom, the fireworks, the family, the Independence Day, all the songs, proud to be an American. And then comes Monday, right? And everybody's waiting on what? Labor Day. Everybody can't wait for it to be Friday. Don't want it to be Monday. They're waiting. And I want to help you design a life that you absolutely love. You know, yesterday, Dave and I were driving. We took a little golf cart. We bought the golf cart from our neighbor guy. His wife passed away, and we were like, we should buy his golf cart. It was kind of sad. Then we're like, what are we going to do with this golf cart? Because we don't golf. We live not far from a golf course, but I don't think I could ever live on a golf course. I would not be able to handle people in my backyard, and I would not follow the rules of an HOA. So we live a little ways from the golf course in a private cul-de-sac, and we have 3 or 4 houses, now 3 on this street, and we have rental properties, right? So Thursday, we got up, we got all the yards mowed, we drove over to eat some lunch. And while we were sitting there getting ready to eat lunch, we got a VRBO rental that said, we're showing up. What's the code? And we were like, oh my gosh. And we flew back to the house instead of a calm day on the lake. We had just launched a red light mask and we had a super busy day in our company. And the next thing you knew, we were scrubbing toilets. We were literally with the cleaning lady, scrubbing the toilets, cleaning the sheets, mowing the lawn. And we were just talking about that hustle. And I want to tell you something, guys. There's 2 kinds of people. There's people who have status and they spend money they don't have on things they can't afford to impress everyone in the neighborhood who doesn't care anyway. And they don't have freedom because they're always servicing debt, the interest, the payments, the mortgage, the banker, the credit card bill, no money left at the end of the month. And then there's other people who have simple disciplines repeated every single day to create wealth. And there is a big difference in having wealth and having money. And I have been broke and lost it all 2 or 3 times when I should have had simple disciplines repeated every day that would have literally set me free by the time I was 30. And today I want to talk to you about that freedom because there's no worse feeling than being behind the 8 ball. There's no worse feeling than having to make decisions totally based on money. Oh, we can't fly to be with our family because we don't have the money. We can't go to be with that loved one or take care of that sick person and be a caregiver or show up at the children's events because we can't take time off work. Guys, I'm here to tell you, you can. And it's just a decision that you're going to live below your means and put the most important things as the most important things. So the first thing I tell people in my industry, everyone can't wait to get into direct sales and then they can't wait to quit their job. Here's the thing. No matter how much money I've ever made in direct sales, I have never stopped creating other ways to make that money work for me. I don't believe you can do 2 direct sales companies at the same time, but some people do and they love that. I never listen to anyone making less money than I make, ever. And I would encourage you, never listen to someone making less money than you. Never take marital advice from someone who doesn't have a marriage. Never ask someone how to catch crappie when they never catch crappie, right? Yesterday, Dave and I were driving around and we were talking about this. And I said, what is it about catching fish? Like, is it the challenge? Is it a dopamine hit? Like if somebody were gambling or shopping, like, is it an addiction? Like, what is it about fishing? Because I can literally watch Dave fish for 5 straight days, catch 40, 30, 20, whatever. Sometimes he cleans them and we eat them. Sometimes he throws them all back. And I'm just like, what is it about fishing? And Dave said, I don't know. I just love to fish and I do it because I can. And I was like, okay, what do I love to do? And I do it because I can. And I want to ask you, what do you love to do? And you could get completely lost in it. I mean, completely lost in it, where you would be like, oh my gosh, it's 4:00. I didn't even know it was 4:00. Drop in the comments. This has nothing to do with money. Tell me what you love to do. And if you could do it all day long, you wouldn't even know what time it is, because that will tell me your gift, your talent, your passion, your purpose. What do you love to do? Believe it or not, Dave loves to mow. Like, he'll be like, I got to get to the lake and mow. We could hire someone to mow our lawns. Dave loves to mow. He puts his earbuds in and he's just driving around for hours. And then he'll come in and mix him a rise and he'll get back on the mower. And then he'll tell me everything he listened to while he was mowing. Dave's an introvert. He loves to go fish by himself. He loves to go mow by himself. I mean, I help people so much that sometimes I do need to lead people. But if I wasn't doing this, I think I would be really depressed. I don't love idle time. Not because I'm addicted to work, but because like I have a mission and a purpose. I want to help people every day, all day long. So what is it that you love to do? I need to know the answer to this question. Give me some things that you love to do. So I'll give you an example. What I could do and get totally lost in it for hours and not even get paid for it and love to do it is decorate for Christmas. I used to go in people's homes, like beautiful homes in our community. We owned the largest Christmas store in Kansas. We had live reindeer, live nativity, and it was every weekend from Thanksgiving till Christmas. We would have 600 to 700 people come to Christmas Wonderland. Today, my sister owns the store and she put it in a mall when I'm the oldest of 5 and we all were not on the same page about donating all of our time. It was free to get in and everything about it was free at my mom's RV park. It had all the electrical outlets. So we bought Dallas, Texas downtown decorations when they got new. And we literally had Dallas, Texas downtown at my mom's RV park. We had live reindeer. We had a nativity set that was live people like with the angel. And then we had s'mores fires and you could bring your family and it was completely free. And you could walk around. We had a train. We had a trackless train. My brothers and brother-in-law would drive it. You did pay to get that with your kids. We played Alabama Christmas and everybody was singing and everybody was doing s'mores. And I got so much joy from that. We just never charged anyone. And then one day, some of my brother-in-laws were like, wait a minute, we're changing everyone else's life on Christmas. And my kids don't even have their mom home to bake cookies. So it was a passion project. We did have to end up closing it so that they could be home with their kids. And my sister kept the retail part of it. But I would do 50 themes on 50 trees. And if people came in on Friday night and they took all the ornaments off, I would go there at 4 a.m. on Saturday to get ready for the store to open because I couldn't wait. I loved it. And another thing that I love to entertain. And I can cook food for a family of 7, even when it's me and Dave. And then like this morning, I took food to our neighbors. And it's weird, but like I get so much joy from like, here's some chicken teriyaki and here's some bratwurst and here's some fried potatoes and some cheesecake. Like it gives me great joy to cook and entertain for other people. So when I'm sitting here with Dave on 4th of July, our kids are all super busy packing for a wedding. We're all going to be together in 3 days anyway. So it didn't make sense to fly here and then fly to Mexico. But I told Dave, like, if I didn't have the business that I do, if I didn't help people with their health, help them make money, help them to dream again, help them with personal development, I would be really depressed. So when I think about what my core values are, fun, family, freedom, contribution is definitely a need, and just impact, like giving, the mission, the philanthropy part of it. Like I think about that every single day. So You see my friend Charmaine on here from 30 years ago in the industry. I don't even know if this book's even in print anymore, but my mentor gave it to me in 1996. And one of the things that I learned in this 5 rituals of wealth is what my values were. So, for some people, their values are like education, got to get a good education, security, got to have that IRA, having their house paid for, got to make sure we got that house paid for. I must be weird. None of those were even in my top 10 at all. So I don't have stocks and bonds. I mean, I have a tiny bit, but I don't think about an investment account. Every dime I take, I duplicate it. Every dime that I make, I give away, I help people, I buy an asset, not a liability. So I could either take all the money that I made and I could put it in an IRA for someday to sit there, and then I could live on it. But let's be honest, I'm not trying to live someday on, a couple $1,000s. I'm trying to create a legacy that is so big that this money is like a perpetual money-making machine. And so this is just my opinion, and you can take it or leave it. But if my values were security and making sure everything was taken care of, then I would probably take every dime I made right now, and I would be going and putting it into something. Guess what? I don't have any Bitcoin. I don't have a bunch of gold. I found what I knew I could make work, and I make it duplicate like crazy. So you got to do you, I got to do me. But if my values were different, I would probably have lots of stocks and bonds and all kinds of money sitting in the bank. That's not my jam. I love to take something that is ugly and make it beautiful. I was a cosmetologist. I love to take someone that said, I hate my hair, I hate my skin, and have them leave going, oh, I just feel like I look like a queen. It was such a rush for me. In fact, right before Nana Cindy passed away, she said, Barb, if you don't do anything else, if you ever change your mind, do the house of the $100 haircut, because everyone on your doorstep would pay $100 for you to cut their hair. Because I never followed the rules. I didn't part it off. I didn't make sure it was all perfect. I would literally look at their head, and I would take a razor and I would sculpt it around their face, the sexy little wispies and the chunky little layers. And when they would leave, they would be like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And I would be like, I don't know. Same way if I do oil painting, my needs, my gifts are creativity. I love to create. I'm not a rule follower. Do not give me directions and tell me to sit down and read the directions. I will not be able to do it. My brain is not that way. A great book for you to read to figure out whether you're right brain or left brain is The 1 Minute Millionaire. You will know right away if you read the story or you read the logical side of it. You will know which you're drawn to. Stop trying to be somebody that you're not, okay? Stop trying to be somebody that you're not. I want to help you design a life of your dreams, and it's going to be this: pain of discipline or pain of regret. Yesterday, I started to tell you, we went for a drive on the golf cart, and there was this beautiful weeping willow tree. And I said, oh my gosh, Dave, I always had one of those on my dream board. And I looked at it, and it was massive on the golf course, just about a block down the road. And I said, even if I planted that today, I couldn't get that in this lifetime. I don't have enough life left to get that big of a tree. It was probably 50, 100 years old, right? So unless I'm going to live to be 104, I could probably never have that tree, but I could buy a property that had one on it. And I was literally riding on the golf cart, in search of beautiful land with a mature weeping willow tree. And then Dave said, that's what Callie wants. We just planted one in her backyard. Well, it's been 2 years, and it's literally not even much past my chest. And so I thought, I want to look outside and see a weeping willow tree. Where will that be? Where will I get one of those? And when is the last time that you did that? Because most people work just hard enough to not get fired. They show up just when they have to, and they try to leave early, and they do just enough work to get paid, and they live on whatever they have, and they don't dream. Like, I want you to think, like, if I took this sheet of paper, see if I got a marker here. I mean, if you dream, it's about freedom. But if you don't, energy flows where your focus goes. And for most of you, if I drew a great big circle and I said, this is you, and you can have and you can be and you can do anything you want, how much money would it take? Well, let's say that I told you you're going to have $3,000 in a lottery ticket scratch today. And if you spend it all this month, it's going to replenish next month. $3,000. Let's just start there. I don't know why. My favorite number is 316. So let's say it's $3,160. $3,160. And you gotta spend it. Like, you gotta spend it this month. If you do, it comes back. And if you don't, it's gone forever. Like, the ticket expires. Drop in the comments, what are we doing with 3160? What are we doing? Well, right away, I'm booking family pictures. And I'm telling them that I already paid for the photographer and everyone has to show up, right? Like, that would be huge for me. We haven't had a new family picture since Lola was 1 with all of us in it. And a lot has changed since her lake house birthday party 5 years ago. We didn't have this house. We rented a vacation house. We were across the lake. And the whole time we were there, I was on Zillow. The whole time it was raining and we were sitting in this property. And I was literally saying, do you guys want to go drive with me and look at houses? And everybody was like, no. They were watching Netflix. They were playing games. They wanted to swim. Pain of discipline or pain of regret. What was I doing? I was dream building. I was writing it on paper. I said, I will have a lake house. I didn't know where. I'd never even been to this lake before, but I knew that I knew one of these days I wouldn't be renting a lake house. I would have one in case they wanted to come on their birthday, right? What else would you do? 3160. This is hard. This is so hard for people to dream. What would you do with 3160 this month? Would you give some at church? Maybe give to Vacation Bible School? That's always fun. Help them with their theme or their gifts or whatever. Would you buy a flight? Would you go see someone that you love? Would you take a week off work because you could afford it and you didn't have to wait for paid vacation? Would you landscape your yard? What would you do? Vacation to Maine. I love it, Melinda, and I've never been there. I would love to go. And I will tell you, I heard there is a cruise that you get on and it goes to like Rhode Island and Maine and all up there. And it's great to go in the fall because all of the trees are changing. I have a lot of friends that have done it. Never been, never even done. I've been to New York City, but I've never really done that coast. Okay, what else are we doing? We got to spend this, guys. Somebody help me out here. We need somebody that'll dream. 3160 coming in this month. What are you going to do with it? Pay off a car? Oh, credit card debt. I love that one. Pay down some credit card debt. Is nobody dreaming with me here? I need your help. We got to spend 3160. Grandson and granddaughter, bumper cars, laser tag for a weekend. I love it, TA. Tell me, where would you do that? Like, where can you go do that? Have you looked? Have you thought about, like, would it be a day trip, overnight? Ooh, Pamela said, booking my flight for Summit. I will see you there. That's going to be a wealth building weekend. Plan spa time with a friend, get a new backyard. Now we got it coming in. I think I would pay off my 2 cards and paint my living room. Jamaica, what color would you paint your living room? This is important. There is a beautiful color called Nuance. I did my entire house in Kansas with it. I just looked at a color for here. I don't love the yellow walls here at this lake house. Just looked at one called Bright White. Just do everything completely white. What theme would you do? Do you go to Pinterest, right? Go there, make a dream board. A new deck around my pool. I love it, Sakita. Buy a house close to the beach, buy a car. What kind of car? Tell me about the car. I see Asa. Buy a house close to the beach, buy a car, and travel the world with my kids. Love that, Asa. How old are your kids? Family photos. That's me. That's me, Lacey. I'm all about the family photo. I just said that. Haven't had one in 4 years. Love it. So now we got people dreaming, right? Now think about this. When this is spent and it's the end of the month, next month it's coming again. You're going to have another 3160. And I know that that might not seem like a lot, but guys, 3160 extra every month, pretty soon it's going to be crazy. Kayla, I did that, built the dream greenhouse. We have tornadoes in Kansas and mine ended up flying in the air clear to the river, but I loved it. I would wake up every morning and go out there and just water my plants. And I had the lights going and the fans, and it was so amazing. Gretchen, start a college fund for grandson. Love it. Okay, it's starting to happen. We're thinking about this. We're going to take a lot of time on this. In my planner, for those of you that have my planner, and those of you that know, you have to put down 50. You got to have 50 things before you get started. Because when you put something down, another thing comes in and you keep going until you have 50. Make a list of 50 things you want to do in this lifetime. I want to take Dave to Alaska. I would love to take my kids and go on an international cruise where it's like Greece and Italy and see all of the architecture and just the old massive statues. I would love to go to Israel and Jerusalem. I think I might have waited too long. I'm not sure if that's still going to be in the cards, but I had so many friends that went there and I always dreamed of going there just to walk right where Jesus walked. I think would be amazing. I have friends that have been to the actual tomb, which I imagine taking your grandkids to see the actual tomb. So it's not just like some fairy tale story, like they see it, they can learn the history. So many things that we could do, but here's the thing, guys. If we don't write them down, for most people, they don't ever happen. And the reality is people don't dream like this. They don't put all their dreams down. They shrink all these dreams down because they say, this is how much money I make in this little circle. And they try to fit everything in this little circle. And it's just as easy to take this money and duplicate it so it can be so, so big that you can never stop dreaming. And you can if you will, but most people won't. And what happens is they're so stuck. Where we focus, where focus goes, energy flows. You're going to get what you think about all of the time. And it's not like we're here to create what I have to do. We're here to create what can I do? Not what I have to do. What can I do? What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? And that to me is what freedom is all about. I live in America. I have friends that live all over the world. Everyone thinks, oh, it's so amazing there, the land of the free, the home of the brave. But I've never seen so many people stuck, still broke, still complaining, still barely getting by, still not focusing on better health, still not creating an extra stream of income. They're just still. Stay away from still people, guys, because what happens is you'll be the average of your 5 close friends. You can love them, but you don't have to conform to that environment. You need to get around some people that push you to be better, to do more, to have more, to dream more, to live more, to experience all the things that are out there. I told Dave the other day, my brother is selling his motorhome. It's like a Provost motor coach, but they drive race cars. So he got a newer one and a nicer one, but the other one is nice. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's gorgeous. And it would be like a $500,000 motorhome for like $120,000. And I told Dave, I go, that would be like a vacation home. And we could go to Alcatraz and the Redwoods and Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I've never been to Oregon. I've never been to Seattle. I have spent my whole life doing airport, hotel, airport, home, serving other people, working so that I could help them build a residual income. And at 55, I'm going to go do all the things on my bucket list while I'm 55, not when I'm 75, wishing that I felt like going to do that, right? So every day I do some simple disciplines every single day. And those simple disciplines are taking care of my health. How many of you say, I cannot afford to take care of my health? How many of you say that? How many of you are living right now, not knowing if your health is going to be good, thinking about diseases and things that your grandparents had, I'm going to take this glass water bottle. I'm going to put this squirt of minerals in there. How cool is that? It's $50 a month, $49 a month. And it's all the minerals that I need in a drink that is tasteless. And the metal lid in the glass bottle, sometimes I'm traveling and I have to get plastic because I'm not where I have my water filter, but it's black water and it's $1 something a day. But I know it's pulling all the toxins out and it's putting the minerals in. Yet people will say, oh, I don't want to sell anything. Good. Don't sell anything. Do you want to live or you want to die? Like, you've got to make simple disciplines repeated every single day. And so it's not like you just wait until someday when you're sick and then you're like, oh, I better get on some good nutrition. I don't care what nutrition you take. Get some minerals in your body because you're made up of minerals. And if you're not putting them in there, your food isn't. And you're definitely not going to be living a longer, healthier quality life. I mean, the true tragedy in life is when people are still living and they don't have any dreams left. So one of my dreams was to create a product that could help people with mental health. And it took a lot to create it. I disciplined. We sold Dave's mom's house. Yesterday, I was on the phone with Lisa O'Leary. She just invested in a med spa and she called me, bought 20 of our new red light masks with her partner for that salon, sold it to the partner. And we were discussing like how I took a med spa and a house and all the things I had invested in and sold them to create this. So people either buy assets or they buy liabilities. And this is going to sting. This is going to sting. I want you to take your same sheet of paper and I want you to make a line right down the middle of it. And I want you to put assets and I want you to put liabilities. Liabilities are things like credit cards, cars, couch, Harley, maybe not jewelry. Jewelry could increase. It would be like clothes, Amazon, all the things that we want, right? And assets are things that go up in value or they make us money. What do you have that's going to go up in value or make you money? So you got assets and you got liabilities. Now, if you have stocks, some of you do that. Like I said, I don't, but those could go up. Annuities, stocks, IRAs. Maybe you buy a rental property. Maybe you put your car on Turo. Then it's an asset because you're renting it and it actually makes you money. It doesn't just sit there, except when you drive it. Everything that you can get on the asset side, it's going to make you money. This is where the wealth comes from. This is where being broke comes from. So you want to be building assets. And I'm constantly thinking about this. I am constantly saying, if I made $1,000, what could I put that in to make more money? So my main focus is building the company that we started. But I have vending machines and I have Airbnbs and I had spray tan machines and we have things that make money while we're not working, like a retail store that we started or a website. So I want you to think to yourself, how could you take part of the money that you make and create a side gig that is a perpetual money-making machine? Now, the reason why I started the call asking you, what do you love to do? I'm going to give you a quick example. Dave's stepmom, Michelle, loves dogs. And about maybe 2012, I owned a dance school. I had 2 dance schools and we had a little back room at one of them. And she said, I wish that I could just groom dogs for a living. And I said, use the back room. And she goes, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I have so many people that depend on me. She cleaned houses. She said, but I don't know if I want to deal with people anymore like that. I just think I would love to hang out with dogs. And I was like, try it. So she got a course and she learned how to cut some dogs. and we let her use our back room. And today she makes $400 a day hanging out with dogs, doing what she loves. And she only works 4 days a week. So she has Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and she loves her life. So why would you do something you hated your whole life if you could find a little side gig that would pay you? Brooklyn, my daughter, loves crafting. So she would walk out on the river or wherever around our property, find antlers. She started her own little antler art Etsy page. And last year at Christmas, just the orders she couldn't fulfill, there was over 200 orders. And she was like, that was the smartest thing I ever did. Antler art. It was jewelry hangers and candelabras. And like the problem was she couldn't even find enough antlers. And Dave was having to make half of them, right? The coat rack, the whatever it was. But antlers are free. They're all over our river. And it was something that she loved. So for me, I love helping people. I'm passionate about mental health. I love helping people make money. It is my jam. If you tell me today, Barb, if I had $31.60, I would pay off my credit cards, move into my dream home, travel with my grandkids, and move my mom in the little side wing, and I would be her caregiver. I would be like, let's make $31.60. And we would sit down and we would map it out and we would get the calendar and I would help you with the presentation or the script or what you would need to put on your social media or how you would invite people to see your opportunity. Like, I love that. It's not even work to me. In fact, I did it yesterday on the 4th of July. True story. And I was on helping this salon owner figure out what they could make if they put red light masks in their salon. And while I was on there with them, I said, you should also buy a Versa Pro, because I had this Versa Pro and you could just walk in, swipe the card. They would get the tanning, switch around, switch, and then they would leave the booth. You didn't have to see them naked. You didn't have to spray them naked. You didn't have to talk to people. They just swiped their card, got their spray tan and left. So the cost on it might be 6 or 7, and the profit on it was 21 a tan. So I had to have 1,000 tans before it would pay for itself, but it was better for me to spend the money on the $25,000 machine than it was to go get a new car. And by the way, my Escalade is approaching 100,000 miles on it. And my least favorite thing, I told Dave, I don't want to break down on the highway, but God, I hate buying cars. Like, don't let me have to buy a car with my money. That is not fun for me. I love to buy assets that make me money, not liabilities that cost me money. So let me ask you a question. Are you teachable? Are you coachable? Do you really want to be free? And if the answer is yes, I want you to start writing down what you spend your money on every single day. My sister Tracy quit going to the coffee shop, and she was a coffee shop addict. And we don't have a Starbucks where we live. It was a little coffee shop that she loved. And there was this thing called a turtle. I don't know. I can remember all of her favorite drinks. She was a coffee connoisseur. She loved it. But one day she decided she wanted to put turf in her backyard and a dream swimming pool because she has 4 beautiful girls that are growing up. She cold turkey quit the coffee shop. She figured out that $300 a month that she was spending at the coffee shop or taking people for coffee would make the payment on the pool, and she wouldn't have to pay to get a membership somewhere else. And the next thing you knew, she designed her dream backyard. So how much money you actually need to be financially free is not as much as you think. People don't live below their means. People do not live below their means. They spend money on things they don't need to impress people, to post it on Instagram. They go on the trip, they eat the expensive dinner, they buy the Gucci, and here's the thing, nobody cares. In fact, most people don't like you because you're winning and they're not. So instead of thinking, look at me, look at me, look at me, how about we trade ego for bank account? And I will help you do this. Now, I'm going to ask you, Tara, how much is the dream backyard? How much is the dream backyard? And one of the very first books, yes, Chris, that is 100%. One of the very first books that my mentor sent me overnight and said, Barb, you got to read this book, was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I was like, that's kind of a weird name. But the book talks about a kid who had one dad that was his dad, that was a teacher, worked his whole life, nothing wrong with that, lived paycheck to paycheck, didn't have any extra money, always said, we can't afford that. That's too much. Teachers are so underpaid. They should be paid 5 times more than what they get paid because they're creating our future generation of people, right? But for some reason, they don't make what they're worth. They should make 5 times more. And this book talks about a guy whose dad lived paycheck to paycheck and never really thought outside of the box. And then his friend had a very wealthy dad who invested in real estate, invested in assets that would make money. They didn't have to live paycheck to paycheck. They were entrepreneurial and they created businesses. So there's a lot of different quadrants in that book. You could be an investor. You could be a business owner. You could do something online, like online sales and marketing, or you can be an employee. Now, an employee can still become wealthy, but they have to take a portion of their money and invest it so that they create wealth, not just have it going on the house payment, the car payment, and every bit of it being gone. So here's what I would tell you to do. Write down where all of your money goes and look at that and say, what could I do? Simple disciplines repeated every single day to create extra money. Now, my kids grew up on this, so they cut their teeth on Robert Kiyosaki. They've been thinking about this since they were probably 5. So right away when they were in college, they bought an electric car because Tesla was popular. It was just coming out. And they put it on Turo. Everybody wanted to rent one and try it before they bought one. And it paid off their cars. So they had maybe their normal car that they drove. And then they had this luxury Tesla that they rented. When they wanted to drive it, they could, but it created income while Callie was living at Tulsa University with Darian. And it paid for their car. So they didn't have a car payment. In fact, Callie put her little convertible on there too. And whether it was homecoming or whatever, Turo is a great way. If you have a liability sitting and you don't use the car on the weekends, or you have 2 cars, you would be amazed that you can make an extra $500 a weekend. And then people go, oh, what if they tear up my car? That is scarcity thinking. Turo has insurance that covers it. They have to have a good review. If anything happens, it pays for it. And you're literally making money while you're sitting by the pool or sitting at home watching the football game or whatever. Airbnb is another one. And Airbnb is something that when it first came out, Dave and I were like, if we just had 20 Airbnbs, we would probably never have to talk to people again. And we were in that era of our life where we thought we were going to take a break from direct sales. We did it, made a lot of money. And we missed people. I missed helping other people make money. We love to flip properties, right? Find an ugly house, go in, paint it, tear up all the carpets, put new wood, spruce up the kitchen. I knew what my purpose was. When we bought a house we called the Cardinal House, it was about 10 miles from here and away from the ones that we have on this street. And we redid this house. We were redoing it on social media. I was showing everybody the updates. We loved it. We were so emotionally attached to it. We put all Nana's furniture in there. We called it the Cardinal House. It had a little greenhouse and a dock. And one day I said to Dave, we bought this for low because there was 12 cats in it when we bought it. And the guy was a widow. We tore out all the flooring. We put on a little suit. We sprayed everything pure white. We painted it white. We cleaned it up. We did take a risk. We spent $300 on the house. 90 days later, we decided that we did want to get back into direct sales and we did want to create a product line. And when we sold it, that wasn't the best one we ever did, but in 90 days with some sweat equity, we sold it for $425,000. Now, that was $125,000 in 90 days, guys. There were years I didn't make that in a whole year. But when I took that check to the bank, it never felt like my heart felt when I had a single mom saying, I paid for ballet, or when I had 300 people coming on a free cruise that we're about to pay for our affiliates. It never felt like it felt yesterday when I was on with a salon owner saying, with 20 masks, you're going to make $2,000 profit. And that can happen this month. Just go post it on your social media and pre-sell the red light mask. So guys, you got to think out of the box, right? You got to take a risk. Success is not going to come and attack you. Now, the average person is not ready to go buy a $300,000 house and take a risk and then buy the paint, do the construction, landscape the yard. I'm not saying do that right away. But what about your basement or your casita if you live near a college or near a beach or we live in the middle of nowhere, and my little sister Tracy has 3 of them. Those Airbnbs are rented every single night. My mom and my brother have 90 properties in a town of 2,000 people. I don't. I have a network marketing company. I took those properties that I had there and I sold 2 of the houses and the med spa. And I said, I just want to help people. I'm investing in people. And when I invest in people and help them get better, everything in my life gets better. But you got to figure out what you want to do. And for the average person, they can't afford to go back to school, to get a second job. That they don't know how they could work any more overtime. They're already servicing credit card debt. They'll probably never get paid off till the day they die, and they stop dreaming. Those are the people right here that I talked about that shrink down their dreams to fit in this little tiny circle because that's their income. Guys, it's Independence Day. It's 4th of July. You have choices: pain of discipline or pain of regret. Look at your expenses, look at your assets, and look at your liabilities. Get rid of. We have a beautiful boat that I can afford. It's paid off. It's sitting in storage. I love to water ski. I love to entertain. I'm not in my entertain my kids and grandkids era. I'm in a season of sacrifice. Nobody's coming to the lake to go skiing. Not this summer, not this fall. I'm in a season of sacrifice. So I was thinking to myself, if I'm not going to rent that boat, and I'm not, because I'm not here to fix it, the houses can rent and a cleaning lady can come on Airbnb. I can be 7 hours away in Kansas or in Mexico this week for a wedding, and they're all rented, right? I don't have to be here. But if it was a boat, that would be stressful. I told Dave, if I sold that, I could literally just pay cash for everything I want to do with this wedding. I mean, if I sold that, I could have another platinum retreat and I could bring 100 people here and feed them and sew into people and get a yacht to come and take them on the water. Like, what could I do with 40 grand? It's either going to sit in storage and depreciate, or I'm going to take it and I'm going to make it grow. I could take that 40 and put it into a new product development. I could take that 40 and put it into marketing or advertising. I don't love to watch things sit and not make money. And it's hard for me to watch people sit and not make money. Every single one of us wakes up every day with the same amount of minutes, the same amount of hours, the same amount of days in the week, the same amount of weeks in the month. What I'm going to do in July compared to what other people do in July probably looks a lot different. But I have a lot of things in my circle. I have a lot of dreams and goals, and those dreams and goals pull me. So Pinterest is my favorite app, Pinterest and Zillow. I would encourage you, if you go to Pinterest and download the app, there's a little thing called a canvas, and you can make your own dream board. So you'll see it every single day. So on my dream board is vacation home. I mean, us right across from the school where my grandkids go. Like, I don't need a mansion. I don't need a crib to impress people. I need my heart to be happy. I don't want to be 4th of July without grandkids, right? Here's the thing. What do you want? Because what you want wants you. What you focus on will grow. You want to buy a crib so you can impress everyone, pay interest, have all your money go to a house payment, go do it. Like, you can't take the money with you when you leave, so you might as well spend it. But when Chance and I look at houses, we say, is there a casita? Because if there's a casita we can rent, we'll never have to pay the payment on that house. We'll have the crib and we won't have a payment. This is the way you got to think. Like, how can you build wealth and have assets, not liabilities? Renting is actually smarter if you want a nice house than buying the big crib. And I'll tell you why. The rent you can deduct and you won't pay taxes on the money. The crib that you can't afford is going to take all of the money that you have you left wishing that you didn't purchase it, and it takes years for it to go up in value. So buy below your means. Start small. The first house we bought to flip, we bought it from a tax sale. There was a dead deer in the freezer in the basement, true story, and a hole in the roof. And we bought it for $6,000. And we gutted it, and our kids put on masks, and we got rid of all the grossness, and we sold it for like $69,000. It was a family project, and we were teaching them, take something ugly, make it look better. And we were in network marketing, but we took the money from network marketing and we invested it in assets. Here's why I love direct sales and network marketing. Everyone can do it. The average person can get started. It doesn't take $300,000 to make the $100,000. It's $49 to get started. Here's what else I love about it. You don't have to have employees and you don't have a very big risk. You literally do not have to have inventory. It's like drop ship. Like, you post it, someone buys it, you get the 20%. Here's the other thing I love about it. I get to write off the house I live in because my home office is in that house. My cell phone bill, my monthly utilities, a portion of any upgrades that I do. When I go to Walmart and buy paper or supplies or toilet paper or ink, when I take someone to Starbucks and they're a friend, as long as I mention the mushrooms, Starbucks is a tax deduction, as long as I'm pursuing my business. It gives you income right away just because of the tax benefits, right? And then every week, I can spend a little bit of extra time. What if you're working for someone? Work 40 hours a week for the person so they can take their family to Hawaii, and then work 2 hours a night for yourself so me and you can go to Hawaii. It is a no freaking brainer. And every single day I'm mentoring people, coaching people, showing them I do the work. All they have to do is plug into the system. I present, I sell, I teach, I show, I lead by example. And tons of people win. That makes my heart go pitter patter, much more than the Christmas store, believe it or not. That was fun. Wasn't very profitable. Or even the property that we flipped. That put a ton of money in my bank account. And you know what? I felt empty. Putting a ton of money in other people's bank accounts makes me feel so full. This week, when people were texting me on payday, my son Chance sent a mass text to all of the customers and did the marketing. And there were literally people that called me and said, today when I woke up, I made $7,000. Today when I woke up, I made $3,000. Today when I woke up, I made $300. Whether it was $7,000 for a diamond, $300 for a gold, or $30 for a brand new bronze, do you know what? I felt so fulfilled because in the book, when I figured out my values, it was fun, family, freedom, growth, which means like personal growth. And that's the great thing about our company. Personal growth is just part of it. It's like a product you get for free. And we don't even charge for our training. We're just doing it every single day because we love it and we want people to win. So when I think about 4th of July and I think about what this holiday stands for, it's about freedom, baby. And it's been about freedom since 1996 when my husband said we can have and be and do anything we dream of. We just have to help enough other people get what they want and we can live the life of our dreams. And you guys, it's been 30 years. We haven't stopped since, never gonna stop. I hope you got the bug today. I hope if nothing else, you go get a Pinterest board and you create your dream board and you look at it every single day, because when you look at it, just remember I said this, you'll get everything on the board if you look at it long enough and you believe it. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference in what's real and imagined. What you want wants you. You'll gravitate towards it. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I've been wanting this car. Like my neighbor guy said he just wants to give it to me. Like weird things happen when you focus on something and it becomes a magnificent obsession, because we're all energy and energy is all around us. And what happens is every thought's a prayer. Every prayer is answered. And God did not create you to live with credit card debt, child support, alimony, back taxes, stress, overweight, health problems, and no sleep. That's not why we were created. We created that. And all you have to do is simplify. That was my word for the year. Simplify. And now instead of signing a mortgage or getting a new car or putting something on a credit card, I just do simple disciplines. Dave and I did not have one credit card until we started Frequence 2 years ago. We had to get a corporate card to buy things for the company. If we didn't have the money on our debit card, we didn't get it. And we had not had credit cards since 1996. Cut them up. You don't need them. If you can't afford it, don't do it. And if you're going to come to Summit, you're going to come to one of our events, let me help you make enough to pay for that event. Don't you dare go into debt, because here's the thing. That is not going to serve you. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I am out of time. I have got to go get on our corporate call and light them up, but I hope you're having an amazing Independence Day. I would love to help you live the life of your dreams. Financial freedom, time freedom, mental stress gone, complete mental clarity and freedom. All you got to do is reach out and tune in every Saturday morning to No Guts, No Story. Have a great day, everyone, and happy 4th of July.